How many dreams do you think are buried in the local graveyard right now? Not just dreams of fame or fortune, but dreams of being a better parent, of starting that business, of finally living a life that actually feels like yours. Thousands, maybe millions. And the cruelest part is, they didn't die because of a lack of talent, a lack of resources, or a lack of opportunity. They died because of a silent, invisible thief that sneaks into your life, whispers that you have plenty of time, and slowly strangles your ambition until it's nothing but memory. It is the most dangerous habit in America today, a habit so polite, so subtle, and so convincing that you don't even realize it's destroying your future until the window of opportunity is slammed shut. If you feel like your life is stuck in neutral while everyone else seems to be moving at light speed, you need to hear this. Because we are going to expose the enemy hiding in your daily routine and show you how to take that control right here, right now. The belief that we are choosing to wait for the right time is perhaps the most deceptive trap we set for ourselves, as it masks a deep-seated fear of stepping into the unknown. But when we tell ourselves that we need more preparation, more resources, or a clearer path before taking action, we are not actually making a logical calculation of circumstances. Instead, we are allowing our subconscious to prioritize the immediate safety of our comfort zone over the long-term necessity of personal growth. This habit of deferral is a defense mechanism designed by the ego to shield us from the discomfort of potential failure or the pressure of high-stakes responsibility. By framing this hesitation as a strategic choice, we maintain a sense of control while simultaneously stalling our progress. In reality, this choice is a form of surrender. It is a tactical retreat dressed up as wisdom. We fail to recognize that the discomfort we seek to avoid is the very catalyst required for our evolution. By opting for the path of least resistance, we trade the vast potential of our future for the temporary, hollow sanctuary of the status quo. The concept of the compound interest of delay illustrates the profound truth about the mechanics of human achievement and the gradual erosion of potential. Just as a small sum of money, when invested consistently, grows exponentially through the power of compounding, every act of procrastination carries its own negative interest that accumulates with devastating effect. When you delay a decision or postpone a necessary action, you are not merely pushing a task to a later date, you are actively devaluing your future results. Each instance of hesitation creates a ripple effect, multiplying the mental friction required to start, diminishing your baseline of self-discipline, and causing missed opportunities to compound into a significant deficit of progress. Over time, these seemingly minor individual delays consolidate into a massive barrier that becomes increasingly difficult to dismantle. This is not just a loss of time, but a systematic degradation of momentum and personal belief. By failing to act today, you are essentially borrowing time from your future self at an exorbitant interest rate, eventually finding that the price of your past indecision leaves you bankrupt of the energy and clarity needed to pursue your grandest goals. The law of inertia is a fundamental principle of physics that governs the mechanics of human ambition with unforgiving accuracy. Just as a physical object at rest requires significantly more force to overcome its stationary state than to maintain existing motion, the human psyche demands a supreme mobilization of willpower to break the initial seal of inaction. Procrastination acts as a psychological anchor, grounding your creative energy and turning your potential into stagnant reserves that grow heavier with every passing hour of delay. The most daunting obstacle to any significant achievement is not the complexity of the task itself, but the immense resistance encountered at the very moment of departure. Once this initial barrier is breached and the first step is taken, the subsequent momentum often becomes self-sustaining, carrying you through challenges that previously seemed insurmountable. However, without that deliberate, focused spark of initiative, all your grandest intentions remain trapped in a vacuum of inertia. To master this law, you must recognize that your energy is fluid. If you do not actively direct it toward purposeful movement, it will inevitably settle into the effortless, unproductive comfort of stillness. The architecture of decision-making is the bedrock upon which all lasting success is constructed, yet many people fundamentally misunderstand the nature of a true decision. In the context of high achievement, a decision is not merely a tacit thought, a passing preference, or a vague intention to do something eventually. It is a definitive, irreversible act of commitment that triggers movement toward a specific objective. Procrastination, by contrast, is a form of decision-making that defaults to failure because it represents a subconscious choice to remain stationary. Those who master their destiny understand that the brain is a tool that requires explicit, actionable commands to function optimally. When you hold a goal in your mind without coupling it to an immediate, decisive action, you are essentially refusing to commit to your own success. By treating every delay as a final, non-negotiable decision to quit on your dreams, you begin to see that inaction is not a neutral state, but a choice to move backward. True power lies in the transition from contemplation to execution, when the clarity of your resolution is validated only by the tangible steps you take to manifest your purpose. The shadow of regret is the most haunting companion one can encounter, representing the heavy cost of a life left largely unlived. This profound sorrow does not typically arise from the mistakes we made while actively pursuing our ambition, but rather from the quiet realization of what we could have become. We simply refuse to remain idle. It is the painful intersection where the finality of time meets the vast, untapped reservoir of one's own suppressed potential. When the vanity of waiting is stripped away, we have led to confront the reality that our greatest limitations were never external circumstances, but our own repeated choices to prioritize convenience over courage. The tragedy deepens because this realization often comes long after the window of opportunity has closed, leaving behind a legacy of if-onlys that permeate the later years of life. By choosing the safety of the silent habit today, you are essentially pre-ordering a future filled with the bitter weight of lost time, a burden that no amount of rationalization can ever alleviate once the sands of your opportunity have run out of the hourglass of your existence. The pivot to purpose marks the definitive moment when an individual consciously chooses to dismantle the cycle of inaction by anchoring their life in a clear, compelling objective. This transformation begins by recognizing that hesitation is a mental habit, one that can be replaced by the intentional, immediate execution of tasks aligned with your ultimate goal. You do not need to possess the entirety of your future path before taking the first step. Rather, you must adopt a philosophy of progress over perfection, where even the smallest, most granular action serves as an affirmation of your commitment. When you align your subconscious mind with a singular, definite purpose, you gain the clarity required to override the impulse to wait for better conditions or more favorable circumstances. This process demands a total shift in focus, moving your energy away from the fear of the unknown and toward the tangible reality of your desired outcome. By choosing movement over stagnation, you reprogram your internal narrative, turning your focus into a catalyst that propels you toward your ambition and ensures that your energy is always directed toward your highest potential. The time for waiting has passed. You have seen the trap. You have understood the weight of your own hesitation, and you now hold the keys to your liberation. Do not return to the silence of that destructive habit. Let the fire of your purpose burn brighter than the fear of the unknown. Your future is not a product of chance, but a harvest of the seeds you plant today. Go forth with the iron resolve of a person who knows exactly what they want and refuses to accept anything less. Take that first step now, because the world is waiting for the greatness that only you can provide. I wish you the most extraordinary luck as you embark on this journey of transformation. Thank you for choosing to invest your time in this truth now. They'll make your life a masterpiece. If you are ready to master your mindset and build a life of purpose, I invite you to join our community and follow Mind Wealth Theory. Together, we will turn potential into power.